and this is the story behind it. Stay tuned. Your friends, your parents, bae, pets, your hairstylist, the whole world knows that your money don't jiggle, jiggle, it falls. But have you ever stopped to wonder who turned these famous lines into a viral sensation? With us today are the brains behind the beat, childhood besties, and viral tune heroes. It's Duke and Jones. Welcome to the show.
Hey,
hi guys.
Good to be here. Thanks for having us.
That was not at all. We just want to know everything about My Money Don't Jiggle Jiggle from the start, from the creation. Go.
Where do we begin? So it was March. It was just a standard afternoon, nothing special. And I had a friend come around for lunch, and he basically knew that we ran this series on TikTok where we do remixes of viral clips. And he said, have you seen Louis Theroux's been rapping on Chicken Shop Date? So I said, no. Wheeled it up, watched it, and thought this is perfect. And yeah, he was cooking lunch. So his lunch was going to take 15 minutes to cook. So I guess it was bragging, but I kind of said, give us 15 minutes and I'll see what we can come up with, basically. And yeah, once his timer went off for his food, we stopped what we were doing, and that ended up being the Jiggle Jiggle track. So in fact, it took 15 minutes to make, thought nothing of it, edited the video, which again was like 5-10 minutes, and just uploaded it. And it just kind of went from there. And then it snowballed, really. And then, yeah, I think 3 months later, we're here.
It's just everywhere.
Bizarre.
Talk about snowballing, 79 million views, celebrity involvements now, which we'll get to in a sec. When did you, because obviously you make a lot of content and they'll get views, but nothing yet at this level. When were you that snowballed? What was that moment?
We had one which was doing really well at the time, and I think that was on 2.6 million, which was a lot, and obviously not as much as Jiggle Jiggle now, but we were focused on that one. So I didn't really see Jiggle Jiggle creeping up behind it because I was so focused on that. And yeah, I think once these two girls called Brooke and Jess made the dance for it, which everyone knows, that was when it really...
That was like rocket fuel, because obviously people can use the sound for all sorts of videos, but once there's a dance, everybody's doing the dance, and then you've got millions of videos, not just thousands.
What were you making for lunch in those 15 minutes?
He was making a pie.
It
was just an oven pie. It wasn't anything fancy. I said making lunch like he was whipping something nice up, but it was a pie in an oven.
I miss pies actually over here. They just don't have the same in Dubai, to be honest. When how did Louis get involved? Did you call him? Did someone DM? Was there WhatsApps? Is there a group?
So our manager reached out to his management by just emailing every email he could find on the website, asking about maybe releasing just the TikTok version as a full song. But Louis was like, I'm really down to release it, but I want my original second verse, because we'd used a different one in the extended version. He was like, I want my original vision for the song to be the perfect one. So I'll come to the studio and record it properly with you guys. Well, obviously we're just absolutely, that sounds hilarious. So we got ourselves down to London, and he spared us about an hour and a half in between interviewing Stormzy and picking his kids up from school. He popped by and laid down a stone cold classic.
Was the dance great? Because you guys are doing the dance, but you're half doing it. Was the dance?
We've met Brooke and Jess now, and we told them that we need them to teach us, and they gave it a go. But I'm not gonna lie, we're just not good dancers. Yeah, we're just not good dancers. So
I tried it too. It's not easy, guys. I mean, you have to say that.
They make it look very easy, but they're actually professional, proper dancers. So it's a bit unfair to expect us to be able to do that.
I mean, you have the tunes and the rhythm dance, so that's that.
Yeah.
Is it always stuck in your head?
It was. I had a few nights where I'd wake up in hot sweats going, oh, just because it heard it so much. I think
actually,
yeah, genuinely, it will have been playing in my sleep. Yeah, because we had to continue the buzz after Jiggle Jiggle, which means spending a lot of time on TikTok to find clips to auto-tune and continue the series. And it was just every other scroll was just Jiggle Jiggle. Jiggle,
yeah.
Jiggle. So the lines of, well, I have rapped in an episode. It's just
like,
ingrained.
Well.
And then I moved to Instagram because it was getting too much. And then it started blowing up on there. And I was like, oh. And then Facebook. And then, yeah, it's just, there was genuinely a few weeks where you couldn't escape it at all online. So, yeah, it haunts me, but I like it more now.
Yeah, although my dad went on TikTok for the first time yesterday, and in his first 10 scrolls there were 3 Jiggle Jiggle TikToks.
Oh my days.
I think he was quite impressed with that.
Is it scary and daunting? Because obviously as artists that's what you want, but when you're actually going through it, because you guys are on this like crazy tide, I reckon now, is it scary or is it the dream?
I mean, it's very much the dream. Like, I think we have the amount of eyes that the song has brought onto our other music is more than we could ever ask for. Because, I mean, a lot of people have gone checked us out on Spotify, especially since we released it officially. And then, obviously, if you listen to one song, once it's done, you scroll on to the next one, they might stick around and like it. So we've seen a spike in our music we'd released prior, which was nice. And then hopefully people stick around for the stuff that we've got coming up in the future, which is different to Jiggle Jiggle, because Jiggle Jiggle, we make house music.
It wasn't supposed to get this big.
Yeah, it was a happy accident, I'd say. Yeah, so if people stick around and check out our other stuff, then that's obviously the main goal, but no, it's going good.
But you do a lot of Autotune as well.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, and my favorite one is one that I'm Irish, so I grew up with the Don't Make Unnecessary Journeys. It's so good. But like, how do you choose those?
That was my girlfriend. So my girl, that was when there was this huge storm in the UK. And when we get bad weather over here, it just takes over the news for a good few days. So we had this one called Storm Eunice. I woke up expecting a nice message from a girlfriend, and instead it was, you need to auto-tune Treacherous Roads because the storm is here. So I was like, okay,
and it's
come on.
because they closed the schools as well, so kids would just be at home.
No one was doing anything. No one was outside. Everyone was looking at videos of the storm.
And Big Jet TV.
So yeah, Big Jet TV. So there was lots of novelties that came out of that one storm. So we wanted to try and make sure that we were one of them with a remix. And I mean, her clip's perfect for it. So
how do you decide on each one though?
It's just whatever.
It's either something that's going viral, but then also there's a couple criteria. You need, like, ideally not much background noise, so it captures the autotune nicely. Helps if it's rhythmic or if they're already singing or rapping. Obviously it needs to be kind of reasonably family friendly for TikTok and just generally. And then, yeah, if it ticks all the boxes, then have a crack.
And what's been like the craziest moment in the last couple of months for you guys?
We were away in Ibiza recently, and about a week and a half ago, and we were speaking to just people outside the venue, and you get chatting, it's general conversation about what you do and what they do and all that. And when it eventually came up in conversation, it seemed that everyone knew it, and you're speaking to people who are from Spain, but then also from other parts of the world. And I think it was the realization that, okay, like it's not a UK thing, it's not an American thing, it just seems to be a world thing that we spoke to maybe 5 people and everyone knew it.
Because obviously it hit the UK first, it has kind of started to die down a bit in the UK. And we just thought, okay, it's Jiggle Jiggle. But then you go abroad and it's just absolutely everywhere and still spreading all over Asia and places, apparently.
I guess the age range as well, because I've had I get chatty with taxi drivers and they ask a lot of questions, and then eventually it comes on to music and they know it as well, and it's like some of them would be maybe 50, 60, so the age range, it goes from our range, younger, all the way right to the top.
Do you get people like showing you the dance and then you judge it?
Well, that hasn't happened yet. I don't think we're in a position to judge anybody's dancing either.
Fair. Talking about crazy moments, what is this? So obviously the king of TikTok, along with you guys, is Jason Dorillo. What is the involvement there right now?
I mean, we got the message saying Jason's done a verse and they sent it over, and we were at the pub at the time and we were like, Is this just going to be the next step in the weird story that is this? And we were about to go home, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And we listened to it and we were like, oh my gosh.
We didn't bring our headphones to the pub, so we were crowded around the phone like by our ears, and we were waiting and waiting and waiting. Got to the end of the second verse, it's like, come on, Jason, say it. And he goes, Jason Dorillo. And we were like, yes. We sprinted a few more drinks.
Sprinted back inside the pub and got a few more pints. So no.
When was that?
A couple of weeks, like a month ago.
Yeah,
maybe.
a month ago now, I think.
Yeah.
Where does the Jiggle Jiggle journey go from here? Are you moving on? Are you focusing solely on your music, or do you still want to do the Autotune, or where do you see like the next couple of months going?
We'll continue the Autotunes because I feel like that's obviously what I guess a lot of people follow us on TikTok for. So we'll continue that, and then we've got a lot of music of our own to pump out. So like I was saying, hopefully people stick around and listen to that. Some shows, that should be good. Yeah. And yeah, maybe a Christmas Jiggle Jiggle dance. I'm not sure.
Jingle.
Genius. Absolutely genius. You can see it happening.
Yeah.
Will you come to Dubai? Have you ever performed in Dubai?
We have not performed in Dubai, but we'd like to come, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I might be coming next year. I think one of my friends might be getting married there, so.
Oh, fancy wedding.
Yeah.
There's a big music scene. Tell the Lovin Dubai audience a little bit about the music you create, and also tell us how you guys met, because I know you've known each other for years and years and years.
Okay, we tell this story a lot. So we actually knew each other technically before we were born, because our parents were friends when they were both expecting. So then we went to the same primary school. He was a lot cooler than me in primary school, so we didn't really hang out together. But
how did that happen?
Basically was like when you're like 13, 14, you're not old enough to go to your own New Year's Eve party. So you have to just go where your parents are going. And his parents were coming to my parents' house. And he gets dragged along like, I don't want to go there. Like, they're vegan, they play weird board games and stuff. That's going to be rubbish. And then we're just sort of sat there having this awkward small talk. Some guy you knew from primary school has been asked, what do you like to do? Oh, I like to make music on the computer. It's like, oh, same. And then we went upstairs and started making awful
made the worst song ever made.
And that was that. Like every weekend for the next 12 years was just us.
But now our music's changed so much. So I'd say that we produce euphoric house stuff that makes you feel good, but also makes you want to dance. And yeah, so it's mainly around house music, but we also dive into other genres as well, because we've been producing for a long time, so we don't want to kind of pigeonhole ourselves in one lane. But yeah, feel good music, I would say, that also just makes you want to dance.
Would you ever release the first thing that you create on that faithful New Year's Eve?
No. Burn the hard drive. Get rid of it.
You know those TikTok reaction videos when it's like the music and you just reacting?
I'm not going to say where, but there's earlier music than that from before we produced together. When I was it would have been 2007. So
there's certain words you can search on YouTube to find this.
Yeah,
which I might leave one day. I didn't upload any of my early music because I wasn't brave enough, but he did.
That's cool. I mean, it's documentation. I think it's amazing. So you've two, but like, how cool is it to be going through this crazy, phenomenal experience with your bestie?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. We live together now, so because we've done this for so long, we've worked together now for about 14 years. So it's been a long process. And I mean, at the start, everyone always has the dream of where they want to be. So we originally aspired to be like Timberland hip hop producers. Then we had our dance music craze, which was thanks to Avicii and Swedish House Mafia and people like that. So you've always looked up to those people and seen the success that they've had in playing shows and how people receive their music. So to finally have it done back to us is very rewarding. And it's just nice that we've stuck together, because there's definitely been times where there's pressure, because we're 26 now. So there's been pressure where you need to move on and kind of look for another career, maybe, where we've always stuck with music, and luckily it's paid off.
I don't think I could have done this on my own, or just the whole thing of like years and years and years where you're just working at it without necessarily getting much back. but it's a lot easier when there's somebody
because
to share that
you
with.
motivate each other. So when
Yeah.
one person's thinking like, is this all going to be worth it in those years, in a few years' time, the other person just has to say, yeah, like if you think it can happen, then it can happen.
Oh, nice. And finally, right now, do you ever take a sit back and consider how to kind of keep yourself grounded? Because your life is changing and you're having these cool opportunities, and
Yeah, I don't think that's
still
really...
making pies in the kitchen. That's the main
None
question.
of our friends care about our music, so
That's
they
the thing,
ground
yeah.
us.
They just take the mick.
Yeah,
most
so
of the time.
we've got a good group of friends who would never let us get ahead of ourselves. And yeah, I think well, they're not going anywhere, so I don't think it'll change.
Fair enough.
Also, yeah, it's kind of hard to have an inflated ego when the thing that's blown up was something you made explicitly just as a joke. I don't know. It's not like a...
Yeah, we are not claiming it is a masterpiece.
Well, it's loved by people around the world. Like it's not even. It's when you turn on, you see in concerts, they just play it. Like it's a mainstream.
That was one of the first really wild moments for me, was seeing it, like just thousands of people screaming all the words back, and it was just like, oh, okay. That happened.
This is what's happened. Look, it was absolutely amazing to get the real story of the song that's been stuck in my head for months. Like it's amazing, but also I love that it's stuck in my head. Like I'm such a massive fan. But I can't wait to kind of get to know you guys more, watch you on Spotify, and I hope our audience will do the same. Massive shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for your time. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us on. Yeah, it's been great meeting you.
Bye guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.